Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Beast Mastery Hunter 9.1 video. I'm going to be covering the talents, covenant stats, legendary, rotation, and tips and tricks for PvP specifically. So we're just going to hop right in. So we're going to be looking at the talents first off. So the 15 row is going to be Animal Companion. This one gives you an additional pet and it obeys you whenever you use kill command. This one's just going to be the most consistent damage compared to the other two. It's the best by far. So coming up on the 25 row, you're going to want to go Scent of Blood. Every time you activate Bestial Wrath, it grants you 2 charges of Barb Shot, and your Barb Shot decreases your Bestial Wrath cooldown. It's on a minute already, so you get that back very fast. So for the 30 row talent, you're gonna go with Camouflage. It puts you in stealth and it heals you 2% of your maximum health every 1 second. This is really good for when your pet dies. You can use Feign Death and then Camouflage while you're in combat and actually get out to get a revive, but keep in mind, whenever your pet dies with Animal Companion, if your second pet actually stays out, and if he has a dot on him, if you Feign Death Camo, the dot will break you out of stealth. Keep that in mind. So looking at the 35 talent row, this is going to be Thrill of the Hunt. Every time you use Barb Shot, increases the critical strike chance by 3% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, and it refreshes when you use it. So you can use it with 1 second left, and then it'll put it back on 8 seconds, 6% crit, all the way up to 9% crit. So for the 40 row talent, we're going to be looking at Post Haste. Every time you disengage, it frees you from movement and pairing effects, and increases your movement speed by 50% for 4 seconds. That means it takes off slows, and it also takes off roots. If you don't have this one, if you have any of the other ones, you cannot disengage out of roots. Keep that in mind. For the 45 row talent, you're going to want to go with Stomp. Whenever you press Barb Shot, both of your pets are going to stomp on the ground and do physical damage to all nearby enemies. Remember, this will break your trap, so if there's somebody stacking on top of your trap, do not use Barb Shot or else it will break it and end your CC chain. For the level 50 one, you're going to want to go with Aspect of the Beast. This increases the damage and the healing of your pet abilities by 30%, and it's just the best one by far out of any of the others. Alright, so we're moving on to PvP talents. The best one you're always going to want to take its baseline, you always use this, as Roar of Sacrifice. This makes whoever you put it on unable to be critically strike, but your pet does take 20% of all damage done to that target. So be sure to press Min Pet shortly after you press Pet Sack. The rest of these PvP talents heavily depend on what you're facing exactly, and I'm going to show you the best ones that I've had the most success with so far coming in at 9.1. So the first one I'm going to be showing is Survival Tactics. Every time you feign death, it dispels all harmful magical effects and reduces damage taken by 90% for 1.5 seconds. The 90% reduced damage part is the biggest part of it. This is super good into Rogue, Mage, and any other teams that have a lot of burst damage. The next one we're going to be looking at is Dragon Scale Armor. All magical damage over time effects deal 20% less damage to you. This is really good right now. How Shadow Priest and Affliction Warlocks both got their dot damage increased and their single target decreased, so it helps a lot with the keeping mana management. So one of my favorite PvP talents I got added in the 9.1 is actually Chimeral Sting. I use this in almost every single game I do. You do nature damage to whoever you put it on, and it puts 3 seconds of 90% reduced movement speed, 3 seconds of silence, and then 3 seconds of 20% reduced damage and healing. This is super good versus RMP. If you see the mage polying onto your priest, then you can throw a Chimeral Sting and he'll be slowed across the map, and then he'll get silenced into it, so there will be no mage damage, not much of a threat into their next go. So we're going to be looking at Tranquilizing Darts this time. It's a very good PvP talent versus Resto Druids and especially Mistweaver monks. The reason being is because every time you interrupt a target or use Tranquilizing Shot, it shoots out 8 darts at nearby enemies, each reducing the duration of a beneficial magic effect by 4 seconds. Mistweavers are very hard to trap because whenever you stun them, they can teleport with their new PvP talent actually. So the trick about this one is Mistweavers have an ability called Enveloping Mist. This is a very strong healing over time effect, and it lasts 7 seconds. It's a huge chunk of their mana, it's about 6%, and they have to use it frequently because it only lasts for 7 seconds. Keep in mind, remember that Tranquilizing Darts talent, huh? Using Tranquilizing Shots off cooldown, if you don't even get the Enveloping Mist, then it will take it down to 3 seconds. And from the pressure that we're seeing in these super fast-paced games in this new patch, they will definitely need to use Enveloping Mist again, and they will eventually go Well, the next one is High Explosive Trap. This is a very good one. It does fire damage when you place it down, so it will break traps if it's too close, but it's very good for kiting because it knocks back all enemies, especially versus kiting warriors. But the meta right now looks like they are just kind of rushing in on our healer, so this will vary on what exactly happens. If you need to kite, then high explosive trap is a great option. Now we're going to be looking at the beast within. I don't really run this one too much, but I'm going to run over why exactly you would run this. Every time you use Bestial Wrath, it inspires you and all by nearby allied pets for 8 seconds, increasing attack speed by 10% and providing immunity to fear and horror effects. Keep that in mind. Versus, you know, double priest. If there's 2 priests and maybe there's a warlock, there's going to be a lot of fearing going on. They might fear your pets on one of their goes, and you cannot pet sack whenever your pet is in ACC. So I just wanted to put that out there. That is definitely an option you can run versus those kind of teams. I personally do not run it too often because our playstyle that we do, it's kind of doing our go and then running away versus those teams. So a little more advanced one, this is the last one we're going to be looking at, is Interlope. I do not recommend this if you're still learning your class and still getting the rotation down, because this is an extra button. It's kind of harder to see exactly, especially if you're new to threes. This can actually eat traps versus other hunters. They're going to throw a trap onto a stun onto your healer into a trap, and what you can do is you can send your pet over there, and if he's not kind of close, you can maybe freedom to your priest so your pet will dash over to him and then use Interlope so he'll eat the trap, because it is only within 10 yards. Can you guess which covenant you're going to go for? That's right, Venthyr. You get 2 abilities, Flayed Shot and Door of Shadows. So Flayed Shot fires a shot at an enemy, causing them to bleed for shadow damage over 18 seconds. Each time Flayed Shot deals damage, you have a 15% chance to gain Flayer's Mark, causing your next kill shot to be free and usable on any target regardless of their current health, and deal 25% increased damage. Now, this is very, very good consistent damage and can hit up to 12,000. Very strong. Door of Shadows is a 35-yard range teleport. This is a 1.5 second cast, so it is interruptible. It is on a 1 minute cooldown, but it is very good to catch people and just get away. The path you're going to want to go with is in the first row, the Nadija, the Mistblade. You'll get Thrill Seeker, which puts a stack on you every 2 seconds. It puts 1 stack, and at 40 stacks you get 20% haste for 10 seconds, which is super good. You're going to follow down to the Potency Conduit and get Empowered Release. This will give your Flayed Shot an additional 7% chance to proc your Flayed Shot, and it deals 7% more damage. You'll get Agent of Chaos. It disorients all nearby enemies at the target location for 6 seconds when you appear. That's with Door of Shadows. It actually is 3 seconds with PvP, and it DRs Fear, keep in mind. The Finesse Conduit, you'll go with Reversal of Fortune. Whenever you interrupt an enemy, you successfully get 11 focus. The Endurance Conduit you want is Resilience of the Hunter. You take like 8% reduced damage every time you feign death for 8 seconds. It's very good. Another option is Rejuvenating Winds if you do not have that conduit. Down to the Finesse Conduit, we're going to be looking at a Buscade. When a trap is triggered, the cooldown of disengage is reduced to 1 to 2 seconds depending on item level. So Dauntless Duelist is really good. The first enemy you damage in combat is marked as your adversary. You deal 3% more damage to them, and they deal 1.5 less percent to you, so make sure you attack the person that you want to kill, as in don't attack the healer and then want to kill the mage, because then you're missing 3% damage and taking more from the mage. So going down to this next Potency Conduit, I think we're going to be running one with the Beast, which will deal 5% extra damage whenever you use Bestial Wrath. Following into Nimble Steps, enemies within 8 yards are slowed by 10%, and if you fall below 35%, enemies within 8 yards are rooted for 4 seconds. This can only occur every 60 seconds. This will be so good for kiting warriors and just melee teams. Down to the Endurance one, like I said earlier, we're going to want Resilience of the Hunter, and then we want Rejuvenating Winds on this last one here. So the last one here, Fatal Flaws, it's very good in my opinion. I think when the haste effect of Thrill Seeker, the top one up there, ends, you gain 10 seconds of either 20% increased critical strike chance or versatility, whichever you currently have more of. That will be versatility for us, so we'll be going from around 30% to 50%, which will make us tankier and do a lot more damage. So your main stat is going to be versatility, which comes on every single piece of PvP gear. And to best explain versatility, if you have 30%, it increases your damage and healing by 30% and decreases damage taken by 15%. Your next biggest stat for right now will be haste. It increases your attack speed and focus regeneration. It also increases your global cooldown speed. It's very needed. The next one is Mastery. This increases the damage done by your pets. And last of all, Critical Strike you do not need whatsoever. You need to take it all off and replace it all with a versatility haste or versatility mastery gear. So the best legendary by far for BM Hunter right now is Craven's Stratagem. This makes it whenever you feign death, the cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds, and every time you use it, it removes most negative status effects from yourself. This pretty much removes everything in the game: poisons, bleeds, magical. You will not take any loss of control of your character whenever you feign death off of Shadow Priest dots, or you'll not take damage from Affliction Warlock's Unstable Affliction, or any other dot protection does not affect you. It's also very effective for taking off mind games, which is very big, and you can take off the new Maledict trinket as well. Take note, you can only craft this legendary on a neck or a chest piece, and the neck has more haste while the chest has more versatility and agility. So for the damage rotation, I'm going to keep it a little simple. So we're going to be looking at Barb Shot here. This one does a whole lot. Whenever you use it on somebody, it causes them to bleed damage over 8 seconds. It also sends your pets into a frenzy, increasing their attack speed by 30% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, going all the way up to 90% attack speed for your pets, which is insane. And then this ability also generates 20 focus over 8 seconds. And then going into your level 35 talent row, this also Thrill of the Hunt Barb Shot increases your critical strike chance by 3% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So you get 9% crit and 90% pet attack speed while you have focus constantly regenerating, and then you have a bleed on the target. Now this lines up perfectly with your level 25 talent, Scent of Blood. Activating Bestial Wrath now grants 2 charges of Barb Shot. You can get an add-on, Tell Me When, or Weak Ores, and you can track Thrill of the Hunt because it actually lines up perfectly with the Pet Frenzy attack speed. And if you thought that wasn't enough, your level 45 row talent, also when you cast Barb Shot, your pet stomps the ground, dealing 1500 damage or whatever your item level is, physical damage to all nearby enemies. Both of your pets do this if you're running Animal Companion, the number 15 talent. So for the rotation, exactly what I would say is keep your Barb Shot stacks up, your Thrill of the Hunt stacks up. You want to use Flayed Shot right before you do the stun into the trap. You want to pop Bestial Wrath and then use Kill Command off of cooldown. And the filler is Cobra Shot. It reduces the cooldown of Kill Command by 1 second. Keep that in mind, very well noted. Also another thing, Concussive Shot. A big thing for Hunter is kiting. Definitely need to know how to kite. For Beast Mastery, it's 50% slow for 6 seconds, and Cobra Shot will increase the duration of Concussive Shot on the target by 3 seconds. So your Cobra Shot increases the slow by 3 seconds and reduces the cooldown of Kill Command. So for the pets, you're going to want either a raptor, rodent, or hyena, and the reason being is because they have mortal wounds, reducing the target's healing received or done, whatever. And they're also cunning pets with Master's Call. Your pet removes all roots and movement and pairing effects from itself and a friendly target, and grants immunity to all such effects for 4 seconds. You can either have a beast pet or an undead. The differences are hunters and druids can CC by using Scare Beast or Hibernate on a beast, but they cannot use those abilities on undead pets. But priests and paladins can both CC undead pets, so you want to watch out for that. And keep in mind, if your pet is in a CC chain, then you cannot Roar of Sacrifice them or Pet Freedom them, or he cannot use Kill Command or do damage or anything. In order to tame an undead pet, you need to first obtain the simple tome of Binding Bone. This drops off of elite mobs from Plaguefall, Maldraxxus, and the Theater of Pain. It's a fairly low drop chance, but I did end up getting it fairly quick. It didn't take me too long at all. I just sat in Maldraxxus and farmed some elite mob and eventually got it while I was sitting in queues. I definitely recommend this one though. So to tell which one is the real hunter pet, the real one has 120 focus, and underneath him he has the cunning pathfinding, where it increases his movement speed by 12%. The fake pet only has 100 focus, and they both have the same amount of health. So I'm going to leave you guys with 3 little tips here. Retribution Paladins got a new PvP talent recently, Judgment of the Pure. This removes 1 magical and disease and poison on their allies within their aura. If you use Hunter's Mark on the person you're about to freeze trap, then there is a chance that it will take off Hunter's Mark instead. So another one is you can use Scare Beast on hunter pets that are beast only, not undead. You can use Scare Beast on druids while they're in forms and shamans while they're in Ghost Wolf. And you can also use Scare Beast on Night Face Soul Shape. The last little tip is to get a bigger heal out of Exhilarate, you can use the Battlemaster Emblem Trinket right before you use it, since Exhilarate is a health percentage heal. Yeah, so if you found this informative, then go down to the donation tab. No, I'm joking, I don't do any of that. But if this is free, what you could do, you could press the like button on the video. It would help out crazy a lot. I just do these videos for fun. And if you want to come back and see more hunter videos, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. That'd be lit. Later.